Incumbents Bill Rodman and Steve Solomon both support annexing state land to the west of Oro Valley. Remember the outcry with the state's proposal for annexing this land into Oro Valley with 3,200 plus living units? That plan was moving full speed ahead until the Higher Math team lost the election in 2018. Now, incumbents Solomon and Rodman are pushing the annexation again. But can we trust them to manage residential growth appropriately on this land? Or will they push for more crammed housing for their developer friends? Frankly, we're concerned with what went on behind the scenes and the lack of candor with the state land project. Let's take a look. In 2012, the Arizona State Land Commission and Oro Valley began discussions about the possible annexation of 550 acres of land south of Tangerine Road at Thornydale. By 2016, that discussion grew to include another 300 plus acres north of Tangerine Road, next to Marana's Tangerine Crossing development. This land was referred to as the 7 Parcel or Tangerine North. It would be largely residential and more costly long-term for the town to provide road maintenance, police, water, etc. The 7 Parcel is a beautiful piece of pristine desert that contains old-growth Sonoran desert saguaro ironwood habitat, important for many vulnerable species identified in Pima County's Sonoran Desert Conservation Plan. The land has even been targeted for future acquisition by Pima County because of the high biological value of this habitat. By January 2017, Oro Valley and the State Land Commission were discussing a pilot project for potential annexation using a new zoning bank concept. Under this concept, state land would obtain the appropriate zoning and entitlements before splitting it into smaller parcels and selling the parcels at auction to the highest bidders. Meetings continued through 2017. On November 28, 2017, Oro Valley and the State Land Commission had a coordination meeting to discuss the upcoming December 6th Town Council meeting, when Council would vote on whether to approve the general plan amendment bringing this 7 Parcel into the town's boundaries for future annexation. Handwritten notes from that meeting reveal that the town manager told the State Land Commission that 2018 is an election year for the mayor and 3 council seats, so required neighborhood meetings would likely be held after the August 2018 primary. On December 6th, it was obvious that the general plan amendment would be approved regardless of any objections from concerned citizens. And this is where it really gets interesting. Council and staff made it a point to explain that this was simply to extend the town's boundaries. It was not annexation. State Land Commission was nowhere near requesting annexation. Everyone would have time to share their concerns at future meetings. Let's watch.
But understand that this is just a planning boundary only to incorporate that into our general plan.
The intent is to extend the planning boundary, which gives us a seat at the table.
So that will be a negotiation that would happen down the line if, in fact, the State Land Trust decides to come to Oro Valley and ask to be annexed. And so we're not anywhere near a request for annexation. We're not anywhere near even talking about what is likely to be put on that. It doesn't abut to our town boundaries, and we want to have some say as to what happens, whether the state land comes to us or stays in Pima County or goes to Marana. All of the other things are things that you're going to have and we're going to have an ample opportunity if state land comes to us and asks us to annex. And with the process, which Buyer can talk about what that process is if it happens, where you can say all of the things that you're going to say. And we understand your concerns, and those will be addressed when and if state land comes to us. What is the process, Buyer, if state land comes to us in terms of what hearings, what happens?
In this case, we have one property under the state land, so it's entirely up to the state whether they want to approach the town and proceed with annexation. If they do, They will come forward as they typically do throughout the state and request a pre-annexation agreement, as well as after making a formal petition for annexation. And
you heard Councilmember Rodman. If State Land Trust comes to Oro Valley and asks to be annexed, not anywhere near a request for annexation. If it happens, when and if state land comes to us. Yet just 3 weeks later, the tentative timeline revealed the pre-annexation development agreement would be presented to the town in January 2018, and council would vote for annexation in July. Of course, by July 2018, the timeline had changed because annexation was an unpopular issue during the highly contested town council race. But the Higher Math team was confident of winning. They hid their annexation plans from public view and scheduled the notice signs for annexation to be installed the day after the election. They planned to vote on annexation on October 24, 2018, just 10 months after they proclaimed they were nowhere near annexing. But they lost the election. And when the Winfield team came on board, asking for less density and other changes, the State Land Commission walked, likely waiting until a developer-friendly council could be elected again. Is this the kind of duplicity you want from your council members? Is this lack of candor acceptable for another 4 years? This is an important council election. Vote for candidates who will represent you, not developers.